All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the December 1st, 2025 NSA Ad Hoc Committee meeting. And this is who's joining us tonight. We may have some other members joining us for a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to start by sharing my screen. We're going to briefly go over the timeline, and then we're going to jump into where we left off last time. All right. Is this big enough? Can you all see this? It's kind of
Yeah,
small, huh? Yeah.
it's a bit small, but I can see it fine.
All right.
A little bigger would be good.
And there, Katina joined us. Thank you for joining us, Katina. We're just going over the timeline right now. I don't think anything has changed since we met last week. So we have tonight's meeting, um, and then we're going to have next week, and then we have our commission meeting next week as well. But we're not going to be discussing the CMC statement. It's not on the agenda. And then we have another meeting scheduled for the 15th. And then I was going to discuss as we get closer to the 15th, maybe the week before, which would be next week, whether or not we think we need to meet on the 22nd or the 29th. I'm open to meeting both days or one of those days or not at all. It depends on the progress that we make. Maybe some people want to meet and some people can't. So I'm open to all that, and that would prevent us from having to cancel the meetings altogether if we feel that we do need to meet, so we don't have to rush. Um, and then after that, we get into January. We moved voting on the CMC statement to the January 8th meeting, like we talked about last week. We'll have another ad hoc before that meeting on the 5th, but we have to submit the CMC statement before then. I believe like that Friday, it's like the 4th, January 2nd. So our last meeting really to finalize it is either on December 15th, or if we want to have one of these two December meetings, the 22nd or the 29th. So we really only have tonight and two other meetings potentially. So three meetings, potentially four or five if we do want to meet in late December if we feel that we need to. And there's other things to discuss in addition to the CMC statement that isn't just what the NSA Ad Hoc is put together for. We also still need to get back to working on the OPD template and the KPIs or anything else that people wanted to recommend to do to put into the director action plan. So that's where we're at with the timeline. Katina, you have a question or a comment?
I was looking at the calendar. Well, I think my cat has a comment. So January 8th is the commission meeting where the commission can discuss and vote on the CMC statement. However, usually, or in the past, OCA has filed the CMC statement about a week or maximum a week and a half before the case management conference itself. So there may be one additional meeting, January 12th. Is that I don't recall, I don't think the 12th is
Yeah.
a holiday. So there may be a meeting on the 12th to do some additional work if it's required or if the commission asks that the ad hoc make any other edits to the statement.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. And that's kind of like what we ended up doing. Well, actually, no, we didn't say it last time, but we said going into the November 20th meeting that we basically wanted to ask the commission for permission for the ad hoc to finalize the CMC statement, but that this is where we were at. So we can have the same game plan going into the January meeting. Like our council pointed out, there may be time to have another ad hoc meeting. MLK Day is in here somewhere. I think that might be on the 5th. I think we might have to move the 5th, the meeting on the 5th to, or no, I'm sorry, that's not until the 19th. So we're good. Well, we may have to move this meeting on the, well, we will have to move this meeting on the 19th to the 20th. Um, yeah, let me just make a note of that real quick. But yeah, but there might be more time depending on when the city attorney's office says they're going to file it. We were trying to do it at least like 2 weeks in advance. So the event's on the Tuesday, the 27th. I believe that's Tuesday. Let me double check. Yes. So 2 weeks before would be the 13th. So, like Katina pointed out, potentially we can have a meeting on the 12th, and then get it to them. If they're going to do it just a week in advance, then potentially we could have another meeting on the 19th. And we have another commission meeting. Well, we don't want to move when we vote on it either way. So it's the second and the fourth too. Yeah. Either way, we may have time for additional ad hoc meetings, but uh, you know, let's plan to stay ahead of this as much as possible because, like I was pointing out, there are other things that we need to work on in addition to the CMC statement. Um, and it would be nice to have some progress on those things before the event itself that can be used as potential talking points, as is pointed out here in the latter meetings in January. But that's where we're at. Any other questions or comments about the timeline? How do you all feel about meeting in late December, just right now with where we're at? Are you open to meeting on the 22nd and 29th?
Yeah, either probably work for me. The 22nd is probably preferable.
Out of
Okay.
town on the 29th. I might even be on a flight, so I'm not.
Okay. Oh, you're here, Shawana. Good to see you.
Oh, you didn't see me. Sorry.
Now, thank you for being here. I know that you have another meeting to get to, but thank you for joining while you can. You said the 22nd would may be good for you? Is that what I heard you say, Shawana?
Oh, I said the 29th. I'm out of town. I may even be on a flight, but I'll be on East Coast time, so the 29th I know for sure won't work for me. I think the 22nd, let me look at my calendar. I should be around.
Mariana, will you be around the 22nd?
I will be, but I have a question about what, let's see. So the commission votes on our state on the statement on the 8th,
Mm-hmm.
but the s- but the city administrator, what do they do with it?
The city attorney's office, we
The
have to
city,
submit it to them to get it included in their package, and I believe they like record it at the court, something like that.
and when is that again?
We planned for 2 weeks in advance, but like our council said, that may be 7 to 10 days in advance at the most. Or
Okay, so that's after the January 12th meeting then.
potentially.
I see. So yeah, so there may be a need, like our council said, there may be a need for us to meet. Okay. Yeah, I'm here both those days in
Okay.
town.
All right, and then Shawana, you had a chance to check your calendar. Would the 22nd work for you if we needed to meet? You're on mute though.
I'm on mute. Yeah, the 22nd could work for me.
Okay. All right, great. So
Uh,
let's plan on canceling the
mm,
29th meeting because Katina, are you able to meet on the 22nd?
I'm supposed to be out of town both of those
Both
Mondays.
of those dates? Okay. All right, but it seems like the majority of the ad hoc will be able to meet on the 22nd if necessary. So three, four. So then just checking with IG. and chair. But even if they're not able to meet and we feel that we need to meet, we can meet them and figure it out. So, and the chair will have more opportunity to look at the statement in between the meetings anyway. So, um, yeah. So I think that's where we're at. And any other questions or comments about the timeline? All right, then let's move forward. Bring up the statement. There. Okay, now let's get right to the section where there's the most discussion because I don't believe there's anything um, that we need to discuss in the statement except for the stability of the commission section. I think we're in agreement on the rest of the statement. And we went through the CPRA section last time, so we're good with the comments that were left there. Um, Katina, do you think that you can get us an updated version of the statement, taking into consideration all the comments that we left by next Monday's meeting?
I likely can. I didn't look at it over the last week. I was both on vacation and actually earlier in last week had some other matters to attend to. But if, yes, if you all can come to agreement on how you want to revise or edit or, whatever it is, how you want to rework that last section, I can very likely get you something by Monday.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, so external pressures on commission stability. I think we agreed to reword that itself to ensuring commissioner stability. Sorry, my computer's a little slow. Let me make this a little bit smaller. Can you also read that?
Yeah.
That's good. Mariano, can you read that? Okay. All right. Um, so Mariano, did you have a chance to look at this and put together some notes? Did you want to start us off with this, or what are your thoughts on that? I do think that we should have uh, or a section like this because the um, I think it's important. I think the commission is affected overall, and I think that the court should be made aware if we all feel that uh, that this is an issue of importance. Mr. Contreras, did you have any thoughts off the bat about that?
Yes, I did reread this and I added about 3 paragraphs, and I didn't exclude anything. I felt that the group, the ad hoc, last week, was pretty, um, together in adding some things, not including some things, and I'm okay with it, whatever is included, however in depth it is, however detailed the report is in terms of commissioners not being reappointed. But I felt that at the end of this section, I had some comments. Hold on a minute. And I could read them to you. I can put them in chat. I can, it's
You said it's 3 paragraphs worth, so
it's actually 4 paragraphs. So sorry.
all right, no worries. Gives us a lot to work with.
It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty, easy. I'm not a,
Can you put it in the chat?
sure.
Shawana, did you have any thoughts on this? I thought I saw you maybe about to say something. Is she still here?
She's no longer listed as here.
Yeah, I guess she went to the other meeting. Um, all right, so whenever you're able to get that into the chat, so we can
Okay,
take a look at it.
somebody can help me out. So I already cut it. I
You can
copied it.
or you can email it to me if you want.
How do I paste it? Eesh. Okay, I'll email it to you.
Okay.
You can you can go into the chat, open it up, and depending on what kind of computer you're using, if you're using a Mac, you can
It it's
do
a Mac.
command what is it?
Control V for paste.
Yes.
Command V.
Yeah, try that.
Nope.
Or Control V. Sorry.
Yeah, copy and paste.
Yeah, he's trying.
Control C to copy, right? Control V to paste.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Command. I think on the Mac it's command.
Oh yeah.
Mm. Oh, it's not. I'll email it to you. Sorry.
All right. Yeah. And I think that while we're waiting for that, this section in general, it's more about, or it could be about, um, obviously it's on stability. What do we call it? Sorry, let me get rid of the windows. Ensuring commission stability. Okay. So stability all has to do about whether or not we have an oversight body to take over for the court when they feel it's necessary. I'm not sure if anyone's had a chance to read the latest monitor report that just came out, but it looks like tasks 2, 5, and 45 are still out of compliance. Um, they talk about task 45 being in partial compliance. Uh, I don't really agree with that kind of like wording. It's either in compliance or it's not. I'm sure that there are some, or I assume that potentially there's some enabling objectives that are in compliance with tasks 2 and 5, but just not all of them. And they don't call that in partial compliance, or maybe none of them are. I don't know. But all three of them remain out of compliance. So, more than likely at the January meeting, we're not going to, federal oversight is not going to end. That's what I would put my bet on, just because of that. Oh, Shawani, you're back. Thank you for being back.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I just maybe my internet or something glitched.
But yeah, so I would say that more than likely that's not going to happen at the January meeting. Um, and I think that that section really has a lot to do with whether or not, oh, this isn't too long, whether or not we would even recommend for oversight to end or not. Um, so that's kind of like my thinking on that section is what that could be about. And like I was saying, oversight is not going to end more than likely anyway, because they're still out of compliance with those three tasks, as is pointed out by the monitor. So let me. Has anyone else had a chance to look at that at the new report?
Looked at it briefly like when it first came out, and yeah, compliance is a problem. We truly went backwards.
Yeah, yeah. Are those your only thoughts on it? Do you have any other thoughts?
Regarding the compliance,
Yeah, just regarding yeah, the
I
status of the compliance.
I given the report, I just don't see how we the court can dismiss oversight at the next meeting. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously this past summer. That was the intent of the plan, and that's hopefully where we're all headed. But given the current situation with we haven't found a new chief, and considering our lack of compliance, particularly with task 2 and 5, it's hard for me to imagine the court is going to suddenly in the NSA in January.
Yeah, I don't see it at all. So
Is
those are my
the
thoughts. Yeah,
is the
go.
expectation to be off of federal oversight to be I mean, it's not my understanding, but I could be wrong, that we need to be in compliance a certain amount of time, or is it that we can show that we can maintain and have oversight locally? Um,
Well, the court can decide to do whatever they want to do. I believe, like back in 2022 or whatever it was, when they got into uh, the period where they give it like a year to stay in compliance with everything. That even then, one of the tasks was still out of compliance. So the court can look at everything as a whole and make their own decision about it. So does that answer your question?
yeah, it does. I'm just curious because the way, it's being, this, what was just said kind of made me think like that. That is the expectation, that being in compliance is the number one, obviously it's the number one indicator, but that there's no way if we're out of compliance on some task. But it sounds like that the court and the judge could potentially say something else.
Sure, they could potentially do um, whatever they feel is best, you know? Um, but I don't see it happening with three tasks, especially with those tasks all being ones related to achieving sustained cultural change.
Mm.
For the court, that's what they've said. That's not like my personal statement. Actually, they haven't said that about 45, or they didn't originally say that about 45, but um, I believe that that is related. That's my personal take on that. Um, all right, so I got the Mariano's comments cut and pasted in the new document. Let me reshare my screen.
Let me just,
Mariano, go.
yeah. So in terms of the report, yeah. So to me, there's compliance and then there's compliance. Like you said, partial compliance and so on and so forth. Um, this is the task of this ad hoc, is to make sure that when they get to a certain task, that the court and the monitor look at the compliance check to make sure that it is as robust and as real as possible. Um, and then there's also the sustainability period that needs to be considered.
Hmm.
There's also the new chief. I don't think that it would look good, or it's a good thing to do for the court or the monitor to say, we can lift the NSA now, when we don't have a permanent chief.
Hmm.
And then also, I don't know if you folks read the whole thing, but they, there was a lot of reference and a lot of kudos to the mayor's participation in this process, and they're giving a lot of expectation to that, and which is a good thing.
Hmm.
But we also, need to make sure that, things aren't just kind of rushed along. That I believe is one of the key responsibilities of this ad hoc. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. And I guess after January 27th, the next opportunity they're going to have to get in front of the judge is going to be around 6 months after that. So we're talking late June, for another one potentially, uh, or maybe I don't know. Um, One was so we did this one in July, and then we did one in December. The one before the one in July, was there one in January, or went all the way back to September?
That's
I
a
don't
good
know,
question.
but
I don't recall now.
yeah, I don't
I
recall
think
either.
they
I think
may have
I think they extended it.
canceled the
Yeah,
January
they
one.
canceled it. Yeah, they canceled it, and then we were going, like you said, and then we were going through the whole the recall of the mayor thing, and it got delayed until July. Yeah, we went from January to May to July.
Yes, so
So
they were waiting to see who would who would win the special election for mayor.
Yeah, and give that person some time to get, everything to understand all the issues, I guess.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So, we're not going to have the same situation in 2026, but um, I guess they could say that they're going to come back soon, sooner than 6 months. But I don't know if that really would give them enough time to get in compliance with all three of those tasks. Task two, I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to get that into compliance. But 2 and 45, I mean, 45 maybe. I mean, it's impartial, whatever they want to say, call it that. But task five has been problematic for a long time, just like task 34 was problematic for a long time. So we'll see. There's not going to be a bunch of opportunities, and then we're going to have another mayor's election, what, next November, right? Something like that. Anyways, so thank you for pointing out those things, Mr. Contreras. I think it's all very important for everyone to keep that on their mental checklist. So, but here are your comments for the section four, and I'll read through them for everybody. Or actually, do you want to read through them? Do you mind?
Sure.
Okay.
Um, the Oakland Police Commission understands the voters' mandate to carry out civilian oversight as directed by the city charter. It has carried out this work for the last 8 years by establishing many policies and open conversation with the Oakland Police Department, addressing ways to achieve constitutional policing. In the last 3 years, while participating in the CMC process, the Commission has focused on identifying true culture change by looking at key indicators that preclude NSA task compliance. Out of compliance results have mostly been due to OPD backsliding, untruthfulness, scandals, cover-ups, and the failure to accept oversight by the department leadership. Support for NSA task compliance must not only come from OPD, but also from the city leaders. As the body that is most prepared to perform the oversight necessary to sustain cultural change in the OPD, it is crucial that the city support the police commission. Not doing so will undermine the continued success of the current commission and risk decreased compliance with the NSA or a short-lived exit from the agreement. This body does not expect the court to opine or involve itself in this matter, but simply wanted to provide an objective report as it relates to NSA compliance. It is our expectation that by legally following the city charter and respecting the democratic voter mandate, this can and will be resolved by all the parties involved. And
Okay.
like I said earlier,
Yeah.
it should go either at the end of this section or maybe at the beginning, after whatever, detail is included in this report, in this process.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Excellent. Any other thoughts on Mr. Contreras' statement here? Well, I really appreciate you for putting this together. I think we can definitely include this. I don't know if we include it as is. I feel like some of this might already be isn't it already in the state in like the beginning
Yeah,
or something?
there's many things in here that are already in there. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Um, but I feel like I get the gist of some of what you're saying. But what about uh, how did you want to relate that to this section, or did you not trying to necessarily relate it to this section?
Well, I thought that it was important that this statement include the fact that the two city commissioners were not, reappointed.
Mm,
And, we can get as specific or as general as we want, but I think it needs to be included. Um, and then, I believe that, somewhere in here, we need to talk about how the city council, consented to participate in the outreach. You know, they they were actually forced to admit that they would participate in that and include, their statements that they would be searching for officer-friendly applicants. So again, we can be as specific, as we want, but the idea of, my few paragraphs that I included were just to make sure that the court understands that this body and specifically the police commission is coming from the lens of meeting NSA compliance through the work of civilian oversight that you've been doing,
Hmm.
before you got involved with the CMC process. And how, this body also feels that because of this outside pressure coming or lack of support from the city, that's going to impair NSA compliance.
Yeah. Yes. And like I was saying before, we may even want to say within this section or somewhere in the document whether or not we recommend ending oversight or not, or what we recommend uh, needs to be done in order to end oversight. Um, and I think that's applicable in general for uh, CMC statements. I think that uh, the commission saying something like that is applicable and maybe kind of part of our duty, to what we recommend to the court. So, and I don't believe that anyone would recommend for it to end under the current circumstances. Maybe I'm wrong. People might disagree. I'm totally open to that. If people disagree, that's fine. That's totally good. Maybe we can find somewhere in the middle, or on what to say. But that's how I feel about it. I feel like it kind of is our duty to
Commissioner
tell the court
Farmer,
whether or not we think it should
Commissioner Farmer,
be like that.
so even if the three tasks were in compliance,
Mhm.
let's say by some miracle, by January or even 6 months after that,
Mhm.
what I think is going to drive, a sustained compliance within the Oakland Police Department is leadership that accepts civilian oversight and accepts the fact that they are under this um, federal monitor because of what took place, in the 1990s,
Yeah.
and how since then up until now there has never been police leadership that has verbally verb no has demonstrated that they accept and want to make those changes, that address the cultural changes. So what I'm saying is that, we can get the interim chief to say that, we can get a new chief to say that, but we have to figure out a way so that they can demonstrably, demonstrate that, that they truly believe that, civilian oversight is what's going to change their department. Thank you.
Yeah, I think um, I don't disagree with you, but I know that the department, depending on who you're talking to, historically will say one thing, and then in a year or two or somewhere down the line, someone else getting a leadership position might say something totally different. So I think we talk about that a little bit in here, in earlier in the statement where it talks about um, that it has to happen from the top down. Uh, and I forget what else that we say right after that sentence, but I thought that it was addressed pretty well there. But in terms of what we want to say in this section, okay, so let's try to go over how we edited it, to make it easier to rewrite. So I'm gonna take a shot at this. So We start off rewording the section to ensuring commission stability. Got it. Okay, and then we go in the realm of Oakland administrative bodies, the commission, or the OPC, is a fairly new commission. It's 8 years of operation. The all volunteer commission has struggled with setting up new systems, ever decreasing support staff, and repeated slashes to its budget. And then we say, where's this one? In the past? No, wait. Will we put in a comment? Oh, here we go. And then we say, uh, the OPC, because of the due diligence of the selection panel and their vigorous vetting of applicants and ensuring that no, didn't we decide to not put that in there? Or no, yeah, we did. And then we said, instead of the next sentence, we say, the current commission has been one of the most effective to date. I don't even know if we should say, okay, well, that's what we decided to say. Um, and I guess we decided to get rid of the rest of this. I think I forgot to delete it.
I thought we deleted that.
Yeah, here, I'm gonna make something here to make sure, put it in red.
Yeah, I think you didn't delete it because we still needed to look at it, but now we can make changes and send it to the rest of the
Yeah,
commission and they could look at it with the actual deletions and stuff.
okay. All right, so after this thing we say about struggling to get started, basically, commission's been one of the most effective to date. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then we say, delete, oh, we want to delete this section too. What's the next thing that we say then? Then we go, okay, and then we change, and then we go after that. The next thing we say is, although the commission has worked relentlessly and labored under city budget reductions, the continuity of its primary task / oversight is again under threat. An oft repeated narrative. Yeah, an oft repeated narrative blames, and then I guess we keep this. Put that in green. Come on. It won't let me. Okay, but we say an oft repeated narrative blames independent oversight of the OPD disciplinary process for crime levels within Oakland. And then we got rid of this, I think. Wait. And then we say, however, the stability of the commission is at risk by the recent failure to reappoint two incumbent commissioners. And I don't know, this last sentence, most recently after much review. Yeah, we got rid of all this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we got rid of all this. Whoops. I don't know why it's not letting me do that there. But I believe we got rid of that. Um, yeah, this just makes it really hard to go through when we have all this written up like this to really see it. And then after that, we talk about the selection panel was asked to renew the months-long process of recruiting and interviewing candidates, council members committing to perform outreach. So that's still in here, like you asked about, Mr. Contreras. And with one council member stating they are coordinating with officers to identify OPD-friendly commissioners. I do think that's important to keep. That is something that should be brought to the court's attention. It's something that was stated. Because that does potentially undermine police commission oversight and the cultural change issue. These assaults on commission membership coincided with other overt attempts to disrupt commission business. Unbeknownst to the commission, verified incredible threats. Wait, these assaults on commission membership coincided with other overt attempts to disrupt commission business. What is this in reference to? The letter about me? Is that what that's talking about? Okay. I don't know.
I think it references the next sentence.
Okay. Unbeknownst to the commission, oh, I got you. Okay, you're right. Unbeknownst to the commission, verified and credible threats have been made to the safety of the commission, resulting in an increased law enforcement presence at commission meetings. Okay. I think this is good and should be kept, I feel. Please let me know if you disagree. Once already these safety concerns have left the commission without a quorum to conduct commission business, I think we want to say twice already, actually. Well, I'm sure at the time it was once, though. Unfortunately, say that, leave a comment here. Once already these safety concerns have left the commission without a quorum. Okay, unfortunately, the failure to approve reappointment of the two members of the most effective commission, or we need to reword that. But anyways, I get the point. Two members of the commission yet has gone far in validating the anti-commission climate. Without support from all city officials, that demonstrates a commitment to independent civilian oversight that can quell anti-commission harassment. The city could face a challenge in recruiting and maintaining volunteer commissioners. All right, per the city charter, the commission plays a critical role in hiring chief of a new Oakland chief of police. In light of Chief Mitchell's departure, the commission has begun the process necessary to recruit qualified applicant pool for interviewing and presentation, select candidates to Mayor Barbara Lee. Efforts to upset commission functioning are attacks not only on the task of identifying a successor chief of police, but on the greater goal of implementing effective and enduring independent oversight. Now more than ever, the Commission's stability is fundamental to that project. The city's failure to vociferously defend its designated independent police oversight governing body will undermine the continued success of the current Commission and risk decreased compliance with the NSA or short-lived exit from the agreement. All right, sorry for talking super fast, but I think everyone here can kind of read what I'm reading anyway. I believe there's a comment in the chat. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Miss Leonard is here. Should Oakland be possessive? Yeah. Um, yeah, we can, yeah, it should. Let's just do that. I was thinking that too. All right.
So Commissioner
Yeah,
Farmer, this is the section where I think that, my
yeah, your
comments
stuff can go in here. Yeah,
should go in
exactly.
there and, edit it and however, wordsmith it
Well,
is.
I think Katina already like says some of what you're saying here. What do you think is not represented here that you pointed out? And I can bring it back up. What do you
Uh,
think is not
the
here?
the fact that we're not asking them to participate or get involved in this, that we feel that because if
You
we
mean here at the
follow
end, this body does not expect the court to opine or involve itself, right?
right, that if we follow the charter and we follow, the democratic process that was established, and in LL and S1, that we feel that it's going to get resolved, but that they need to know that, we feel it's affecting compliance.
Okay. So what about these other three paragraphs? Do you believe that all of this is expressed there in some way, or do you want to think about it? You don't have to make a decision right now. I'm just asking in case anything jumped out to you.
Yeah, it
I
is
want
if
to
you
look at it again anyway.
okay, okay. And if you read the whole statement, some parts of it are in there, but it's not, very concise this is more like in bullet points. I see
Hmm.
it. So
Yeah, the good bullet points though. Thank you for taking the time to do this. This it's good stuff. Uh, any thoughts from anyone else? Okay, then what do folks think about um, saying something about whether or not we recommend federal oversight to end or not. Because or else, to me, I don't know. Me, it's just me, and I may be chair of the ad hoc, but everyone has entitled their own opinion, and this is a democratic process in my mind. Uh, but I feel like we should we should be doing something actionable, some sort of actionables. I feel like a lot of things in here, we say it's good information to have. We're not, we didn't do a call to action in this statement. Um, but I feel like, you know, we can take, I just feel like we could be taking action more, and being, and making some sort of statement in addition to what we're saying, like in terms of oversight, and where we think things are at, rather than kind of like leaving it up to speculation. Um, we could say whether or not we recommend oversight to end or not. What do folks think about that? Agree, disagree, indifferent?
I would tend to disagree
Disagree? Okay, why?
because I don't know if it's helpful to set up the conflict within a city where you have different departments and different positions. I think it's maybe better for the commission to say if for there to be continued success or even to reach success under the NSA,
Mm,
then the commission must have this particular role. And then for there to be continued success, once the NSA has been um, removed, then for there to be continued success, the commission must be engaged to do the following. So I just think we need to make it clear that to reach compliance, the commission has to have a role, and for there to be continued compliance, the commission has to have a role. The judge is going to decide anyhow what he wants to do, right? And
mhm.
he's not going to decide it pretty much based on the commission. He may he may find the
Yeah.
division problematic, right? So I think it's better to say what needs to be done within the commission or within the city to ensure that the commission is in a place to help reach compliance and then help maintain compliance.
Okay. All right. Okay. And anyone else?
I agree with Director Lawson.
Okay, but do you have any other thoughts on it or
Not right this second.
okay. And then anyone else, any other comments or feedback from that? Okay, Director Lawson.
This is Katina. I
Yeah. Oh,
I um, I don't agree or disagree. I just wanted to make a point that one of the problems or challenges that the commission had with the NSA ad hoc a couple of years ago was with the commission and the ad hoc committee doing exactly what Director Lawson said, which was taking that position, which was directly opposed to the city attorney and the city regarding exiting or not exiting the NSA.
mhm. Okay.
I guess if you asked my opinion, I'd say it's probably not worth including that, including that in the CMC statement.
Okay, fair enough. All right. And then Director Lawson, how would you do you have an idea of how you would word the feedback that you just gave us? Or what are your thoughts on even including that in the statement, or how would you include it in the statement if we did?
In a lot of ways, the statement says that, but I would make it up front as part of the introduction that this is what the intent is of the statement to set forth um, what is necessary for the commission to successfully lead the city into compliance and to have continued compliance once the NSA has been lifted. Um, so I would put that as part of the introduction.
Okay. Yeah, you're probably right that judge is going to do what judge is going to do anyway. So why make it? I hear you. Okay. All right. do we kind of say, do we say any of that in the beginning? Because I know that we talked about, well, we have the CPRA section. Have we talked much about how we need the IG, uh, like fully staffed and all that? I know we talked about that. Did we put that in the statement? I don't remember because we've just been talking about this one section for the past couple of weeks. Or, I mean, is that one of the things that we want to point out? To make that point.
I wouldn't necessarily say IG needs to be fully staffed. I just say the IG needs to be to do the following. We need the IG to do the following, and implicit is that is staffing, right? The court's not going to tell you you need to staff your agency. What the court will tell you is that your agency needs to do the following, right? You need to have an IG to do this, this, and that, and then it's your responsibility as an entity, whether it's the state or the city, to ensure that the agency is staffed at a level that it can meet those tasks.
Okay. But did we put any of that in here already? I agree with what you're saying there too. I'm just wondering if we made that point because I think it's an important point to have because we want to make sure that the city and commission are set up for success, right? Um,
I think there may have been uh, a few points about the IG in the midsection.
Yeah, I thought we went over it a couple of like 2 weeks ago, 2 meetings ago. Anyway,
Right, and I think there was something in that midsection about how the commission has been collaborating with the department. I think there were a
oh
couple of
yeah,
points about the IG there.
yeah. The commission collaborates with the department to alleviate necessary restrictions. Oh yeah, and we did say a couple things about the commission's independent office. Oh, here it is, right here. The commission's independent office of the inspector general is responsible for program and okay, we talked about who he is. Okay. Well, I'll go through this and see if anything see if I want to recommend something more specific based on what Director Lawson said. Um, so then really I think we're just back to this one section of the statement. Um, and there's some things in the chat. Let me get to that. Okay, Mr. Contreras has to leave in a couple of minutes. Is he still here? All right, do you have anything to say before you go?
I'm gonna hop
Um,
off too.
One thing you could include, Commissioner Farmer, is your concern about, partial compliance and not. Maybe a sentence or two about, what's that about, more or less, or
Mm-hmm.
how is, how can, it's either, like you said, it's either, there's compliance or no compliance. Maybe you should make a statement about that.
Yeah, it's confusing. I think that's one of the. And then, Shawan, are you still here? I know you have to go. Maybe she already left. No worries. And I'm gonna get you Kathy as well. All right. So we have that. Yeah, maybe say something about that. I believe that's one of the few tasks that doesn't have any um, like enabling objectives or subtasks. Sorry, that's the formal name for it. Um, and then, so I guess, Katina, is this good enough for you to work with how this is written here with the comments for section four? Is this okay for you to just, I mean, does it make enough sense for you to edit that? Are you able to?
I'll work some magic.
All right, thank you. All right, Miss Leonard, if you're still here, see if I can promote you to a panelist. If I can figure this out again. I had it figured out last time. Let's see. Okay, where's the chat? Um, Sorry, I'm just trying to figure this out. How, Miss Leonard, what is your comment? Can you put it in chat just in case if I can't figure out how to promote you again, please? Do you mind? And see you next time, Mr. Contreras. Thank you. I'm not sure if she's still here. Okay, here we go. Here's the chat. She says she's unclear of what Mr. Lawson said. Which part are you unclear about? Why? Oh, the OIG wants to hire staff, but the city has not funded this office to the extent where they can hire more staff. Okay, so I'll go. I hear yes. Do you want to respond to that, Director Lawson, or I feel like you were saying that that's what.
What I was trying to say is that generally speaking, a court is not going to order you to fund the agency, right? What the court will do is say you would need to have an agency, such as the IG, perform the following tasks. It is implicit that to do those tasks, they have to be funded. So it's not that you ask the court for full funding. What you ask the court, what you're telling the court is that this agency should perform the following tasks. Then it becomes a responsibility of the city to ensure that they are funded.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying, not necessarily, but I mean, I don't know if the court is ever in this situation going to order the city to fund the IG. And maybe they will, but
And again, you don't think that the what?
well, you could say they haven't been funded and therefore have been unable to perform these tasks, right?
Right.
Uh, and then I would implicitly say, okay, if the city is gonna perform these tasks with the IGs, they have to be fully funded.
Right. Yeah. They need. Okay. All right. Any other final thoughts on that, Miss Leonard? I apologize for not. I don't. I figured it out last time.
She was sending out comments that were helpful, so I think if I was in chat, I think
Let me give this one more shot if I can. I don't know why I can't.
if you go to chat, Ms. Leonard has comments in chat.
Do what? The figure to chat? I got
Chat, yes.
clicking on her. Yes, the city is mandated to fully fund the OIG. I agree.
That's true.
Yeah, maybe we need to just say more about this IG issue in general. So maybe we can revisit that um, next time, and we can go over the revised document next time, um, and as well as talk about that. I'm just going to
You could at
see.
least say that the IG is unable to perform its duties because it's
Yeah,
not funded. Even if that's just a footnote, you couldn't, as she's pointed out, Ms. Leonard, that is mandatory. They're not doing it.
yeah. She says that the court needs to know the city has not fully funded the OIG, so they are hampered in performing its duties. Yeah, I think it definitely we could say something like that, and that it is our duty to bring that to the court's attention. Is the court not? Do they not? Are they not aware of that? I mean, I guess I'm. I guess if we don't say it, no one else is necessarily going to bring it to their attention. What do you think about that, Director Lawson? Do you think that the court is unaware that the IG's office is not funded?
If it didn't come up this past summer, I don't know how the court would know, actually.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, unless if they're not keeping tabs on what's going on, I guess maybe they don't know. Okay.
City's not reporting it, and the monitor's not reporting it that I know of, right?
Yeah. And she says she doesn't think the court knows. Okay.
I think Miss Leonard makes a good point. I agree. She's right.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely make sure that the court knows in this next CMC statement. So thank you for bringing that up, Miss Leonard. Thank you for Yes, we should alert the court. I hear you, Kathy. And thank you for responding, Director Lawson, and for your thoughts on all of that. And thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, Katina. And I will see you all next Monday. And have a good night.
All right.